Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel. We're going to take a look at this week's Daily Race C. It's kind of a strategy guide, but not quite in the same format as the last one. But taking a look at the race details, we are in Super Formula cars. It is only the Honda variant. We're at Circuit de Catalunya. We have 13 laps, and for a little bit of a change in this one, there is a tyre requirement. For this, where we must run the hard tyre. We have the choice with the medium and the hard, but the hard must be ran at some point during the race. So I think that's a new addition to daily races, certainly since I've started playing the game. I don't remember there being a tyre requirement before, but that's something that seems to be getting carried over from the FIA events. So I think that's a nice addition to daily race C, and certainly adds to the strategy a little bit. So we are in the Honda variant of the Super Formula car. We have the Benetton B198 livery on from the 1990 Benetton Formula 1 car, as driven by Giancarlo Fisichella and Alexander Wurz. Quite like this livery. Giancarlo Fisichella, one of my favourite Formula 1 drivers, so I think the car looks really good with that livery. So as I said, a little bit of a different format for this one, more just a discussion about the strategy rather than going through each strategy individually. Again, I do apologise for having this video up so late into the week. I'd much rather have had it up on Monday morning, but I wrongly guessed from Kudos Prime's website that the car for this one would be the Red Bull 2019, and I did actually have a video ready to go with that car, having done some testing with that, so that's the reason why the video is coming out on a Wednesday rather than a Monday for this daily race. So as you may have seen there from the start, you want to use, it's a grid start, so you want to be using traction control off the line, just at one, just to help launch the car off the grid. If you don't use traction control, if you use traction control, then you're going to have it on already. If you're a driver that doesn't use traction control, then you do want to use it off the start and then turn it off as soon as possible. Now with the tyre requirement in this one, that we must run the hard tyres, you may have noticed that we are running what's known in the game as the hybrid tyre strategy. That is where you use a different compound on the front as into the rear. In this case we have the racing mediums on the front and the racing hards on the rear. That allows us to fulfil the tyre requirement. But you don't actually have to use a set of hard tyres just on their own. Just running them on one axle is enough to fulfil that requirement. So that's what we're doing here, running the hybrid tyre strategy in this way, with the mediums on the front rather than just hard tyres on all four corners. Means that we are getting about at least 0.4 of a second per lap in lap time, so absolutely worth doing. Now the strategy kind of boils down to two ways. You can either do a one stop, running the hybrid tyres in the first stint, then changing to a set of mediums around about lap 6 or 7, or you can try doing the no stop with the hybrid tyres, but the no stop is slower on paper, but because of the dirty air in the game, when you find yourself running behind another car, it severely affects the grip. It does, even though you're on worse tyres in the car behind, it does make it very difficult for them to get a pass on you. But what we're doing here, we're looking at the one stop with the hybrid for the first stint and changing to a set of mediums. So we are on the in lap here into it, and it's a very, very short pit stop. Catalunya used to take nearly, I think it used to do 25 seconds to complete a pit stop. So the no stop is always the way to go in this race, but the actual pit loss here works out only at about a shade under 6 seconds. So you'll lose about 6 seconds taking a pit stop. If you have a gap of that behind you, then you can make a pit stop and come out in front of that car. So what we'll just do here, we'll take a brief look, we'll just do a quick flying lap of Circuit de Catalunya. So breaking into turn 1, just between the black box and the orange marking on the wall. If you get the line and the speed right through turn 1, then turn 2 and turn 3 are flat out, but you usually have to give a little lift into turn 3. Braking just before the shadow into turn 4, down into 3rd gear, on the power as soon as possible. And there's not really anything there for a reference to get your braking point right. It's a bit of a guessing game into that tight hairpin. So down into 3rd gear here for the fast chicane thing. Got to be careful of the track limits on there. If you run too wide on the second part, you'll get a half-second penalty. Same with this corner here. If you run too wide on the exit, you'll pick up a half-second penalty. So you don't want to be doing that. Down into 2nd for this hairpin here. Just keeping it in 3rd. I keep it in 3rd round this long right-hander. Some people drop it into 2nd. I prefer to have the traction as early as possible. And we come to the tricky chicane, braking just before that shadow there. Don't take too much curb, it can upset the car. Certainly not worth the risk in race trim. Maybe in qualifying you'd want to be taking as much curb as possible. And then using the boost button as we come out of the final corner. So we have a wee quick talk about fuel. You want to be keeping a watching brief on your fuel for this one. You should be able to go through the race without refuelling, without really concentrating on fuel saving, but with a third of the race to go, certainly take a look at your fuel, see where it is, and if you need to make adjustments, then Super Formula cars are very good for saving fuel with a little bit of short shifting. You'll be able to get that fuel under control, no problem. Don't take fuel out the pit stop, you just don't need to do that. So that was the one stopper there, the hybrid tyres on to a set of mediums. And after we'd done that run, I seen there was an actual race just about to start, so I thought I would take the car in and just try the strategy in the real world. We started 3rd in this one, but there was an altercation between the drivers in 7th and 8th who were running 1-2 at the time. Sasha happened to be very, very dirty against Savicic. Punted them off 3 times, but we were the beneficiary of that. We took the lead after about 4 laps and we brought home the victory. And as you can see, the finishing time, about 5 seconds slower than what we did in the clean air run. That was kind of lost in the first 4 laps. So you can see the strategy, took it into the real world and it works quite nicely. Now you can do the no stop. I found the tyres were gone by about laps 9 or 10 and I'd have been quicker just to pit. But if you happen to have be an alien, then I think the no stop is certainly an option. Key 25 has certainly used the no stop to good effect in his streams and has picked up a couple of victories. But he's not quite a normal driver, he's one of the best drivers in the game, so he can deal with the worn tyres better than most and still keep the lap time up. I think for this one it is the one stop. Certainly in the races I've been doing, that's been the favoured strategy. As I said, run the hybrid on the first stint and that means you can change to a set of mediums for the second stint. That is the quickest way to negotiate this race, I believe. So as I said, not quite the same format, not quite the same in-depth. I did want to get a video out about this one just to keep up the consistency in the videos. So thank you very much for watching. I hope there's been some handy stuff in there. Maybe you've not got around to racing this one yet and it's been helpful. As I said, thanks for watching and goodbye.